Have you ever felt stuck in life, whether it's in your career or your personal life? I've certainly been there. I felt like I couldn't break through to the next level, even though I desperately wanted to. Well, I'm going to tell you a story from my life that illustrates a breakthrough I had on what it takes to break through to new levels, whether it's personally or professionally. This really is the secret to becoming unstoppable. So let's first go back to my elementary school days. I was in Naples, Florida at Vineyards Elementary, standing out in the grass in the field, about to race Ryan Soper. I used to jokingly call Ryan Slippery Soap because he was just so fast I couldn't quite catch him. And I was one of the fastest runners on the playground. I usually won most of my races at recess, but I always questioned whether I actually wanted to race Ryan because there was this voice in my head that told me, Chris, Ryan's faster than you. He's probably going to beat you, and you're going to get embarrassed in front of everyone. Losing sucks. Don't go for it. Don't even try. And I remember when I had that opportunity to race Ryan after having lost in the past, I decided not to race him in that moment. I chose to listen to the little voice whispering into my ear to not go for it. And I carried that voice with me into adulthood. There were many opportunities that I didn't take on because the little voice said, Chris, I'm not sure if you can do this. The other person's faster. The other person's smarter. Or you're going to fail in this opportunity. You're going to look bad and embarrass yourself. But fast forward to my days at Google Cloud. I'm in the office in Austin, Texas on the 27th floor at 500 West 2nd Street. And I'm looking out into the beautiful river or lake in Austin, doing my work, loving life. And suddenly I'm interrupted as I'm prospecting by my friend Ryan, a different Ryan, but this was a boisterous guy that always was getting us riled up. And he was definitely a good time. And he said, Chris, you need to arm wrestle Joe. And immediately that voice started whispering in my ear, the voice that had whispered to me for 20 years up to this point. That little voice was saying, Chris, I don't think you should do this. Joe's pretty strong. You're probably going to lose, and then you're going to embarrass yourself in front of all your Google peers. At this point, as the voice is whispering to me, I see a gaggle of Googlers huddling around in anticipation of whether I would arm wrestle Joe or not. When you're prospecting in sales, apparently any reason to step away from the desk and from the monotony is a good reason, and our threshold for what's entertaining is quite low. Apparently, everyone wanted to see this match go down. And suddenly, unexpectedly, in addition to the voice that whispered, don't do it, you're going to fail, you're going to embarrass yourself, there was another voice that popped up and was a little bit louder. And it said, Chris, what's the worst that can happen? And I chose to listen to that second voice. I said, all right, I'm in, let's do this. Joe and I sat down at the nearest table, right across from each other. We looked each other in the eyes and clasped hands at the center. Ryan said, 3, 2, 1, go! In that moment, Joe and I thrust all we had into each other's palms, and we sat there shaking in the center for what felt like an eternity. It was probably no more than 1 or 2 minutes. But suddenly, a miracle started to unfold. Slowly but surely, inch by inch, I was inching Joe's arm closer to his side of the desk. And before we knew it, I won. I never would have expected it, but I actually won. And in that moment, I experienced transformation. Something shifted inside of me that would never be the same. I realized in that moment of glory, that small voice whispering in my ear to not try and not go for it because I would fail and look bad would never go away. But I could change my relationship to that voice. And instead of giving into it and not taking action, I could see that voice as a trigger to step forward into the opportunity, a trigger to shoot my shot and go for it. In that moment, I discovered one of the sweetest joys in life when you prove that small voice saying you can't do it wrong, and you unlock a growth mindset. You realize you are capable of so much more than that voice thinks is possible. I know without a shadow of a doubt that if we're not willing to take uncomfortable risks in life, then nothing wonderful will ever happen to us. And that living, truly living, and unpredictable results lie outside of our comfort zone. I hope this story inspires you to stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone. And the next time you experience self-doubt and you hear that voice that says, don't do it, don't make that cold call, you're gonna get rejected. Don't go up to that attractive stranger and ask them out, you're probably gonna get rejected. Don't start your YouTube channel. It might not work out and it's going to be really embarrassing. Don't start that business because it's too complex. You're probably going to fail. I hope that next time that small voice whispers to you, you say, thank you, I get it, you're trying to protect me, but I'm not going to play small. I have greatness inside of me and I'm going to take action to realize it. The worst case scenario isn't that bad. Instead, I'm going to focus on what could go right and I'm going to act anyways. Go be great. Go be unstoppable and celebrate your victories of acting anyways in the comments below.